What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified here on Wednesday night, and we have a giant show that I am very excited about. Before we get to the interviews and the highlights, give this video a like if you're watching us right now, and I know you are, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you are down with the Inland Empire, you love local sports, you love positive stories, this is the place. Go ahead, follow us on Inland Sports. Now, in a moment, we'll talk Major League Baseball draft. We also have an interview with Oscar McBride, the head coach for Murrieta Mesa football. A lot of football for you tonight and in the coming weeks as we get ready for Week 0, Friday night, August 22nd. So, Oscar McBride from Murrieta Mesa. We're going to check in with the Yucaipa Thunderbirds. Also, those are two teams that had great years in 2024. Murrieta Mesa won the Division 6 CIF Southern Section title, and Yucaipa went all the way to the semifinals, a historic season for the Thunderbirds in Division 7. So we'll talk to both those teams. We've also got Blake Wong, a big-time receiver for Norco High School, just picked up a couple new offers, including the Ohio State University. So we got an exclusive interview with Blake as well. We'll talk some CBU men's soccer, CBU men's basketball, and at the end of the show, check in with our dear friend, the Big Jeezy, Jeff Gorham, who's got a surprise for everybody at the end of the show. But first things first, we do want to give a shout out to, well, the Corona High School baseball team. This is them lifting the championship, not this past season, but the season before in 2024 as they won the Division I championship. And they were led by a couple guys who were first-round draft picks this season in the Major League Baseball draft. Of course, we're talking about Seth Hernandez, Billy Carlson, and Brady Ebel, all going in the first round. In fact, the Panthers had 4 players in all get selected in the Major League Baseball draft, although it looks like Ethan Bingaman, my guy who is a transfer from Arrowhead Christian and went to Corona for his senior year and balled out with the Panthers. Looks like he's going to take his talents to Auburn University. But, man, what a year for Corona on the field and also in the Major League Baseball draft. Let's take a look at all of the local selections. We talked about the Corona guy, Seth Hernandez, going number 6 overall to the Pittsburgh Pirates, followed by Billy Carlson, the shortstop, going to the White Sox at number 10. Gavin Feen from Great Oak going to the Rangers, also in the first round. So we got 4 local guys in total going in the first round when you throw in Gavin there. Of course, Brady Ebel, we mentioned, he went in the 32 overall to the Brewers. A little bit further down the road at in the 8th round, 249 overall, Nick Dumanil, the slick fielding, big hitting center fielder for California Baptist University, the WAC Player of the Year, going to the Tigers. Frank Camarillo, a Moreno Valley High School product, also played at UC Santa Barbara, went to the Mets at 403. And there's Ethan Bingaman to the Diamondbacks at 603. Vista Murrieta pitcher Von Necker to Cleveland at 612. And a shout out to my guy JP down there at Valley News down in the southwest part of Riverside County. Let me know that there was a guy from Temecula Valley, Harrison Bodendorf, going in the 10th round. I think it was to the Mets as well. So we got a lot of local guys getting picked up in the Major League Baseball draft, and obviously a big draft for the Corona High School Panthers. Congratulations to all of our locals continuing their baseball careers, man. Very, very exciting. All right, back to football. A lot of football tonight, a lot of football in the coming weeks, and we got to start with another champion here in the Inland Sports Show coverage area, and that would be the Murrieta Mesa Rams. Under head coach Oscar McBride, the Rams went all the way in Division 6 last season. Now they're going to load up with a tough non-league schedule again, as they always do, try to win a league championship and go back to another CIF championship game. Here is our dear friend Oscar McBride on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He is a CIF Southern Section Division 6 champion of the world. It is the head coach of the Murrieta Mesa Rams, Oscar McBride. Coach, man, obviously last year was awesome. It was a special team. You win a CIF championship. I'm just curious, as you go through the summer, as you get ready for helmets and pads, do you guys talk about last season very much, or does it feel like it's a blank canvas? You got to kind of prove yourself all over again.
You know what? It's a blank canvas. You start over. Every team is different. Every team has its own set of challenges and adversity. And we tell them, every year we may have guys returning, but every year is a different team. Guys change, guys grow, guys leave, guys transfer. guys move out of state, all kinds of things happen. So the team dynamic can change if we don't stick to our foundation, which is our standard, relentless effort, competitive excellence, and unquestioned character. Those three things should never change, no matter who's playing for us. So, new season, yeah, we make some reference to it from time to time, just to let guys know, hey, was that a championship effort? But for the most part, it's all about what's happening in 2025, brother.
Hey, Coach, I did want to ask you a little team building activity. I think it was a Linfield Christian. I think Temecula Prep, T-Prep was there. Coach Dawson, Coach Burns, two guys I really respect as well. During the summer, obviously, you're doing stuff to get the team better, but at the same time, you want to have a little fun, right? And get the guys to come together, team building, bring that closeness before the season.
Sure. So when I first got the job at Mesa, which gosh, 4 years ago, Deshaun, reached out to me. He's like, "Hey man, welcome to the Valley. If you need anything, I'm here." Like super gracious, and Coach Burns, he's just a phenomenal human being and a great coach. And I kind of took him up on that. We got really close. We become super close over the time I've been at Mesa, and that first year, he says, "Hey man, we're planning a beach day." I'm like, "Oh man, a beach day sounds great." And he goes, "Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab a couple of 25-pound dumbbells. We're gonna grab some medicine balls and a couple of ropes to do some tug of war." And he laid out this whole plan. I was like, "Oh man, that's great." So the first year was just the two of us. The next year, I think it was the two of us in Redlands East Valley, uh, and I forget who it was with us last year. And then this year was us, T Prep, Linfield, and Notre Dame
Oh,
Riverside.
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just a great time. Got it some competition in and a lot of laughs and coaches getting to bond and players getting to bond and guys who know each other who maybe went to a middle school together or something, kind of get to see each other and hang out, and families were great, and it was just phenomenal, man. That's what football's all about. It's a brotherhood, it's a family, and you know, at Mesa, we're not looking at the guy across from us as an enemy. You know, we're looking at you as the guy that's given us an opportunity to be our best self that day, and we reaffirmed that with our teams, and it was great. We're actually throwing 7-on-7 with T Prep and Linfield tomorrow. I don't do a lot of that stuff. I want to keep guys healthy. 7-on-7 is a drill. It is not a game, and we treat that as such at Mesa. And Coach Burns and Coach Dawson do the same thing. So we're going to see those guys tomorrow, actually. So as much as we work, as much as we grind, as much as it's the dog days of summer, as some would say, we never want to forget the fact that one, it's a game. Two, you should have fun playing it, and three, if you're a football player, this should be the best time of your life. I want them to remember. I want them to remember not just what we did on the field or in the weight room or watching film or whatever, but I want them to remember, oh man, remember when oh man, we went to the beach, and we buried John up to his neck, and like those types of things. Those memories last forever. You may not remember the score of a game, especially the ones you lose, but you'll remember going to the beach and hanging out with your brother. So that's become an annual tradition for us at Mesa.
That's awesome. I love that answer because you're right. You don't remember, a lot of the scores or what your record was that one season, but you remember those memories, hanging out with your guys like that. Yep. Coach, let me ask you about this year's team. I mean, do you have a lot of guys coming back from last year? Do you have, young guys stepping up? I mean, what's the team look like right now?
You know what? We've got a ton of guys coming back, which is great. We've got most of our starters returning, all of our starters except two on our offensive line, which is great. We lost some guys, which that's today's world in football. Parent situations change, kids leave the state. Kids. I lost a couple kids to out of state movement. I've lost a kid to relocation. And then there are kids who transfer to other schools looking for opportunities. It's kind of like free agency. It's kind of crazy. Like the NFL, you win a Super Bowl, or in college football, you go to the college football playoff, and all of a sudden your market value is higher.
Sure.
So, but we just reload. We don't. It doesn't matter to us. We're going to coach who shows up. We're going to coach the guys who are invested in what we're doing, and as I always say, I want volunteers, not hostages. We want guys who want to be a part of Mesa football and what we're about, and those who stay, will ultimately be champions, and that is our mindset. But it's kind of a mixture of both. We have guys moving around. We got some young guys who will show up big for us, some sophomores that will show up big for us. We've got some returning juniors. And we got a kid back that's going to be great for us. Keegan Williams didn't play football as a sophomore. 6'4", about 180. He's a receiver, great baseball player as well, good kid. He's coming along nicely. Obviously, we got Darryl Conyer coming back, who's a sprint champion. He's going to be a junior. He's a 10.4, 100 meters. So Coleman Jones started 5 games for us last year at quarterback. We lost Trey Gamble. He moved out of the area. So for us, again, our standard doesn't change. My coaching staff is nails. And we'll just continue to move forward. Each day it's about getting 1% better. Let's work on the hard things. Let's work on the things that we don't do well. Let's really drill down the details on these things, because that's kind of where the difference between being a championship football team and maybe a team that has a bunch of talent and doesn't play well. That's kind of where we found we need to put our focus, and that's what we've been doing. The guys have been responding well. We'll be fine. I think we'll be okay. We're gonna have to compete. Our schedule's pretty tough. We're on the road at Rancho Verde. We're on the road at I call them Talk, the team on Clinton Keith. We've got MV at home. We've got La Costa Canyon at home.
Yeah.
And then we've got our league schedule. TV's on the rise. Obviously, King is always in the mix. Great Oak is that's our Achilles heel, so we always have to be ready for them. Coach Mo's back, at the helm at Santiago, and they're nobody in our league can be taken lightly. So we're gonna have to compete, and that's why I like being in this league and being around this area of football. Everything's so competitive.
Yeah.
If you're lining up in the Inland Empire, the Inland Valley, you're gonna be in a dogfight. It doesn't matter who you play. It doesn't matter where you play. So, we're going to put our best foot forward, and we're going to see where the chips fall.
Coach, let me go back to your non-league real quick, because you mentioned like the other Murrieta schools. I mean, Rancho Verde and Coach Zomalt, man, they'll always bring it. You mentioned San Diego County, San Diego section. I mean, 100%. That non-league schedule is brutal. I'll put that up against anybody out there. I mean, I don't know if you're a glutton for punishment, but I mean, do you like playing like really good teams to early on this in the schedule?
You know what? It's a part of our process. We want to get guys, experience to get against stiff competition. Some people want to play teams that they can beat. We want to play teams that are going to make us work. So we know what that feels like. So we know what that adversity feels like, that toughness feels like. I mean, we're scrimmaging Del Norte. I mean, Del Norte won it a couple of years down in San Diego section. Coach Barnett's done a phenomenal job down there. We scrimmage those guys, and we open against Newport Harbor. So, I've always believed that your non-league schedule should prepare you for your league schedule. And
maybe ultimately the CIF playoffs too, right? Like you're not caught off guard playing good teams, right, in the postseason.
Right, and I think that was a big part of it. I mean, going up and playing St. Francis last year, that was a great football team that we beat, and a couple of balls bounced our way, and kids made some plays, and I think being in those situations early in the season, with against the the Murrieta Valleys and the Talks and of the world, and those teams that have been there, that are proven, that are championship caliber programs, I want to compete against that. If you're a competitor, you want to compete against that. You want to see how you measure up. So that's kind of our philosophy. And we get to league. We hope we hope that that experience shows up when we need it. And in our league, we need it. So.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Finally, give me an area on this team that you feel like is going to be a strength this upcoming season. I don't know if it's guys up front, the skill position guys. Give me a strength on this Rams team.
I would say we have on offense, the strength is our offensive line, hands down. They've played together for since they were freshmen. We've got a couple of young guys that have stepped up, a couple of sophomores, big guys that are playing really really well. Our lone our two juniors that are on the offensive line have come along nicely. They're just figuring it out, and they're figuring it out early. I would say defensively, our back end is our strength. Our linebackers. Chris Flores is back in the lineup after being out last year with a busted shoulder. He started 7 games as a freshman. Daniel Ritchie is back. Obviously, Mr. Everything for us. This kid plays everything except D line and offensive line. We're even thinking about throwing him in some quarterback. The kid he's just a football player. And then of course you have Jesse Wilhite on the back end. Another all CIF guy. We've got some holes to fill in on the defensive line, just in terms of depth. When you lose a guy like Isaiah Casillas, you lose a guy, like Elijah Seau, you lose a CIF Defensive Player of the Year, another all CIF guy, all league guys. Guys are gonna have to step up and fill those slots. So, but strength wise, yeah, offensive line, hands down, and our back end defensively.
Okay. Well, Coach, I'm going to let you go because I know you have a special dinner planned tonight for you and your wife. Is that right?
Yeah, I got to get my chef on, man. I got to get my chef on tonight. Mama's been working hard, so we gotta get everything going here.
Well, I gotta ask then. Do you and Coach Burns at Linfield Christian, you guys talk food a lot? I know he's kind of a foodie. He likes to cook.
And you know what? We don't talk food a lot. Most of the time, it's him counseling me. That's most what our conversations are. If you know Coach Burns, he's very spirited and very wise, and it's really funny. I want to call him and commiserate, and he's like, you know what? You got to do better. And he's like always coaching, man. I love that guy. So I'm looking forward to spending some time with him tomorrow. I think we start at 4:30. I think he's going to come up around 2:30, and we're going to hang out and chop it up a little bit. So we haven't talked about food yet. Maybe I'll ask him tomorrow. I did not know he was a foodie.
He does. Ask him. He does some sort of like what does he call it? Like DBU. It's like a food university where coaches come up with their best recipes. And they compete. I don't know. Ask him about it. He does it. Listen, he loves social media. Hashtag all gas, no breaks. He does all that stuff on social. So ask him about the food. I guarantee it.
I want to call him as soon as we get done.
Yes, do it. Tell him I pointed you in his direction. So
thanks, Pep. I appreciate it, man.
You got it. That is Oscar McBride, the head coach of the Murrieta Mesa Rams, right here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. Always good to chop it up with Coach McBride at Murrieta Mesa. All right, we've got more high school football coming your way as we stop off at Yucaipa High School, checking with the Thunderbirds. We also have Norco High School's Blake Wong coming up in our next segment. So stay tuned. A lot more Inland Sports Show to get to right after this. The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. For more information on the Bass Private School, visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody, live and amplified on a Wednesday night. More high school football, and right now we're going to pay a visit out to Yucktown. Yucaipa High School, the Thunderbirds are coming off a 2024 season in which they went all the way to the CIF Southern Section Division 7 semifinals, battling a good Warren team out there at Yucaipa High School. Well, the Thunderbirds, they got some guys back, and they feel pretty good about this squad, and Coach Justin Price always does a fantastic job getting his team ready. They will open up once again against Santiago. So we had a chance to catch up with the Thunderbirds as they go through their summer workouts, and about 2 weeks or so, give or take a couple days, the helmets will come out, and then the pads, and then here we go into the football season. So without further ado, the Yucaipa Thunderbirds right here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports.
Yeah, I've actually been really impressed with our guys. I think it's been business as usual. You know, they really they did a great job this offseason getting ready for this year. You know, obviously they understand how great of a season we had last year, but a lot of people don't realize we only have 3 guys coming back on each side of the ball, so we really do lack experience. But we do have key guys coming back, and you interviewed a couple of them today. Like we have our dual threat quarterback coming back to be his 3rd year at the helm, so we're really excited about that. For me personally, I love these type of seasons where, you know, you come off a really, senior-laden group from last year, did great things, went to the semifinals, and now we have a lot of guys that have a lot to prove. So I think early on in the season, a lot of that experience that we really can't teach throughout off-season during summer and spring, it's going to be really key for us before we get into the league, that preseason schedule. Offensively, basically we have 3 on each side of the ball. So you have Danny Sanchez is returning offensive lineman for us. He was all league last year in the CBL. Had a great season for us, so he'll be coming back at center and playing maybe possibly some guard. We have our quarterback coming back. Last year was all CIF, great dual threat guy, over 1,000 yards rushing and passing last year. And then we have a few receivers that played quite a bit. So when I say 3, we had a lot of guys like Travis Streeter at the end of the year really stepped into a spot. Lou Sarton, another guy. Those were 2 guys that transferred in, so they really couldn't play until the 6th game anyways. So their experience is limited, but we did play 13 games. So we're really excited about having them back this year. Other than that, you're going to see a lot of new faces on offense, especially on the offensive line. Some of those guys played some last year, but it's going to really a new group up front. And I will say last year that was probably one of the strengths of our team. We had a guy who rushed for 1,800 yards. A lot of that had to do with our offensive line. So replacing them is going to be key. But I love the way they've worked this year in the off season. So it's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. I think as coaches, we love it when we have all those guys coming back, especially when you have a lot of seniors, because you have that leadership and those different type of elements. Right now, we're still kind of searching for that identity. We're seeing some of that peer leadership grow, which is really important for us as a football program. And that's why I like it. It's exciting. I've been here now for 16 years. It's a long time, but we trust the process, and I'm really excited about what the future holds for us as far as moving into camp. We're 2 weeks away from helmets and shoulder pads. That's where the guys will start separating themselves in those competitions.
Yeah, I think we're feeling pretty confident. I think we have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder knowing that we went that far. And I think that because we have that taste in our mouth from last year, I think we want to get there again this year. So I'm really excited to see where we go this year.
Yeah, expectations probably a little higher. We have a lot more experience and the players that we would last year. Same players, a whole another year of growth and time to connect.
Get farther than we did last year. Last year we went to semis, so hopefully win a championship this year and just have good teamwork, team chemistry, and we should get there. We know the playoff atmosphere now, how it is to be in a playoff game, go that far, like how it is on your bodies, playing that many games in a row. I just think the experience that we have, it should help get far.
Inland Sports. All right, good stuff from the Thunderbirds tonight here on the Inland Sports Show. Now we're going to make our way over to Norco High School, and we're going to check in with star receiver Blake Wong. And, I told Blake in this interview, as you're about to hear, when I think of Norco, I think of great, big, physical offensive lines and stud running backs, but they're throwing the football now. Daniel Barledge, a great coach out there at Norco High School. He's got a great receiver to use now with Blake Wong. He was their leading receiver from a year ago. And he's had a big summer, picking up a lot of offers, including the Ohio State, the Buckeyes, who probably crank out more receivers to the NFL than any other college team. I don't have the stats in front of me, but they sure do produce a lot of great receivers, and they've offered Blake Wong from Norco High School. So, without further ado, let's take you out to Horsetown, USA. Blake Wong on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. The Inland Sports Show as we make that march towards week 0 of the high school football season. Join us on the program, stud wide receiver for the Norco Cougars, Blake Wong. And Blake, listen, man, we want to see Norco back in the playoffs. What do you think you guys have to do to have a successful season and get some wins and get back to the postseason?
We just got to keep on working together as a team. You can't win games without the team for sure. And I know our coaching staff has been there for the past couple of years. And like I said, team. So I know we got a few guys, and we had a lot of young guys last year. And I know we're all ready to step up our game for sure. And we have more experience now. And I know we had a rough couple of years, but we're for sure ready to get back into it. And we're ready. We're competitive. And I see it every day. And I love it for sure.
Okay, so Blake, the last couple of weeks and months, what has Norco been doing behind the scenes to get better and get ready? I don't know if it's weight room. I don't know if it's team building stuff. You guys hang out or go to the beach or whatever. What are you doing to kind of bring the team together and I don't know, bring that closeness and be ready for that first game?
The energy at practice is top notch. We're competing. We're going at it. And you can tell our team is so excited for week 1. We're ready to go. You know what I mean? We're ready to go for sure. And our coaches too. Our coaches want to see us succeed. They're doing workouts with us, getting us going. We're very excited and we're ready to go. Everyone's hyped, everyone's bought in. It's right there. You know what I mean? So for sure, that's one big part.
Coach Barledge is such a good dude. I got a lot of respect for him, and I know he's going to get things going there at Norco once again. But it's funny, Blake, because when I think Norco, I'm old school. I think of the big offensive linemen, big and physical. I think of these great running backs. But actually, they've had some really good receivers. I think Grant Gray, obviously, and now you're coming along too. What do you think it says about a Norco team that has a passing threat? You guys, you're a great receiver. That's not just one dimensional, just run the football. It sounds like you guys can do a lot of things on offense.
Yeah, the best teams always have versatility. So, being able to throw the ball and having a deep threat and having a run threat, it always expands your game of play. It's hard to beat a team that does everything super well. So I think now that having a good receiving core and having a good running core and a good offensive line and also obviously really good coaches, I think it just evolves our game to the next level for sure. So
Blake, Norco always has a really tough non-league schedule. Like they always get like some really good teams to get you ready, obviously for Big West play, because there's we know who's in there, and there are some really good teams. But
for sure,
when you just look at the non-league portion of your schedule, do you feel like you guys are going to learn a lot about this team and maybe the strengths and the weaknesses where you guys can improve, because you will be going up against some really good competition?
I mean, we're never scared of competition. And like I said before, we're super competitive and all we want to do is win. So going into week 1, whether it's Cajon or whether it's Orange Vista, like I think as a team, we know how we are and we're going to go out there and compete and always try to win every single game. And no matter who we play, wherever we play, I know for a fact I can depend on my teammates to help, to be out there and help me for sure. So.
Okay, Blake, so you led Norco in receiving last year. From last year to this year, tell me how you have improved as a receiver. What are some of the things that you're working on?
The weight room, getting stronger, faster, explosive, like that will really elevate your game. And seeing older receivers, seeing the way they move, the way they run, it's just, you can tell they're so much stronger and they're so explosive. And so that's a big thing. And also just working on my route running, working on my craft and getting better hands, stronger hands. Overall, just the weight room is very important to every single position, but just staying faster, stronger, the typical stuff, but yeah, for sure.
All right, Blake, also the offers have been rolling in for you lately. I saw the Ohio State. Did that offer come in? Because they're like they say running back U used to be USC, but receiver U has got to be Ohio State, man. They're always pumping out receivers. So what did that offer mean to you?
Man, that was huge. That's a big offer. I love the school. Love Coach Hart. Love Coach Jordan. I grinded it out. Went there 2 years in a row in a camp, all the way in Columbus. It's huge. It's massive. I love that school. Love what they're about. Love their mentality, and obviously the receiver university. I don't think any school could top them. First round after first round after first round. So it's extremely blessed and grateful.
So Blake, it sounds like though the Ohio State offer is awesome. I think you got Michigan State. Are they also?
Yes, yeah. So that was a little while ago.
Okay.
The coaching staff isn't quite there, but it's still a blessing and keep working.
So what other offers do you have right now? And I'm sure there's going to be more rolling in,
Yeah. So Colorado State, they're a good, really good school. They've been communicating with me pretty frequently. San Diego State, I think off the top of my head. Sorry. San Diego State, obviously Toledo and Kent State. That was up in Ohio too. So Arizona State.
Yeah, and the Sun Devils are coming off a huge season to make that college football playoff. Blake, let me ask you this: when you think of your dream school, I mean, what's important to you? Is it they have your major? Do you want to stay on the West Coast? Do you want to go get away from California and go somewhere else? I mean, what's important to you?
Where I'm going to develop as not only a football player but as a person. I love football, but the best thing you can have is a good character. So, where I'm around a good coaching staff that really cares, and I'm going to develop not only as the best football player, like I said, but the best character and who I am and staying true to who I am, for sure.
So is the recruiting process, is it fun? Is it stressful? I mean, how would you kind of characterize that?
It's fun. It's a blessing. And it could be a little stressful at times, going before a big camp or a showcase and you're kind of stressing, but like I said before, it's a blessing, and you should always give thanks to the upper. So and it's a really good time, and I love it.
Blake, tell me something that Norco is going to be better at this season compared to last year, maybe the previous 2 seasons. What are you guys doing well that you're like, man, I'm feeling good about this team. I'm confident. We're optimistic, going into this season.
I know I've said it a lot, but staying competitive and connecting as a team. So I believe that we're very well connected, and we had our times last year or the year before that, or last year for me. But I think we're all very connected, and we're all bought into the program, and we're ready to turn this thing around for sure.
Yeah, because I think I don't know if it was like 34 seasons in a row Norco, made the playoffs, and I think it's been 2 years since you guys have made it. So I would imagine when you set goals for the season, I'd imagine getting back to the playoffs, right, is one of those goals for Norco and yourself.
Yeah, for sure, winning playoffs for sure, definitely. Yeah, that's probably the most important thing for us.
All right, and Blake, and finally, kind of outline the next couple of weeks for you guys. I know helmets and pads will be coming out very shortly, maybe like in 2 weeks or so. Maybe.
So we get back in helmets. I think we get equipment like July 23rd or something like that. But get back in helmets. I believe we have to be in helmets for 3 or 4 days. I'm not quite sure, but when we get the pads on, we have our blue and white scrimmage Saturday morning, and then we go right into Bosco. And I love that game because it really gets us going before week 1, especially, and they're a very competitive team. And yeah, we have a very bright future. I'm very excited for sure.
So that's your scrimmage is with St. John Bosco?
Yeah. That would
so you guys are going to know right out of the gate, like, hey, are we improved? Are we ready? Or because it's Bosco, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, Blake, listen, man, congrats on all the offers and continued success. Best of luck to the Norco Cougars this season. Really appreciate you jumping on the Inland Sports Show.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, that's Norco receiver Blake Wong here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. Good luck to Blake and the Cougars this coming season. It'd be good to see them back in the playoffs. So when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified on a Wednesday night, CBU men's soccer, a little CBU men's basketball news, and we'll check in with the big Jeezy, Jeff Gorham, right after this. The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. For more information on the Bass Private School, visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
What's going on, guys? It's the Boost Man here, gonna break you off with a quick training tip on how to beat your opponent with speed. It's very common for athletes to work on drills that are specific to their sport, but it doesn't have to be so black and white. Check out this drill for baseball players to help you increase your baseball speed. So here at Bass Athletics, one of the drills that we run pretty frequently with our baseball players is teaching them how to do a lateral start. It's very specific to not only base running, but running your 60, which is really important. And over the years, we've been able to shave off a substantial amount of time off our players' 60 just by reinforcing these mechanics. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like right now. So we'll have our athletes line up, all right here at a line. We wanna make sure that their feet are about shoulder width and their arms are hanging comfortably in front of their body. And And all that's going to happen is on my cue, I'm looking for a powerful crossover step, all right, with my outside leg, and I'm going to push into the ground with my inside leg, all right? So I want to get that powerful crossover, push into the ground. I want to have great arm action, all right? And then to top that off, at the very end, I want to get a nice head whip, okay? So we're going to work on that over and over again until they master that movement, because we want to be explosive out of our start. So I'm going to show it to you at about 50%. So I got my feet shoulder width, arms are hanging comfortably. You're going to look for that powerful crossover step. I'm going to push into the ground, my inside foot, and I'm going to get my head around. So again, this is a sports-specific drill for baseball players. When we run this drill, we only go right because when you do base running, you're always going to the right. And we'll reinforce this over and over again. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's super simple. But again, we're able to help our baseball players get faster just by working on their lateral start. Again, beat your opponent with speed. Make it sports-specific. Boost man.
Sports. 96.7 K-Cal rocks. It is a Monday, and you know what makes Monday better? A little sports with our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Patrick. Listen, it was a huge Sunday night for the Corona High School baseball team. We talked about it last week. And listen, even if they weren't from the Inland Empire, this would be huge news because Corona High School is the first high school to ever have 3 players from the same team in the same year go in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft. It was Seth Hernandez, a pitcher who went number 6 overall to the Pirates, shortstop Billy Carlson, 10th overall to the White Sox, and Brady Ebel, the son of Dodgers third base coach Dino Ebel, an infielder, going 32nd to the Milwaukee Brewers. That's 3 players, 1 high school team. Congrats to the Corona Panthers.
Yes, congrats to everybody connected to that whole situation. It really is unbelievable. It's very movie-like. I mean, I can't remember anything like this than maybe like 2 players being together like Bryce Harper, you know, and Rizzo. But this is insane for it to be picked that high in the draft.
Yeah, 3 first-rounders is unbelievable. And listen, they also made another piece of history because 2 of those guys went inside the top 10, and that's never happened before, too. 2 guys from the same team in the same year going inside the top 10. So they made history on a couple different levels. That's how good Corona High School was this past season.
It's unbelievable.
And speaking of the home run, if there's a way I can bring this back, circle back to the big dumper, I will. And here we go, because the Mariners have played 96 games, and I'm kind of a math guy, so I did the math. So big dumper, Cal Raleigh has 38 home runs here at the All-Star break through 96 games. Those 38 home runs, the second most at the All-Star break, second only to Barry Bonds, who had 39 in 2001. But I did the math. At 38 home runs through 96 games, Cal Raleigh is on pace to hit 64 home runs this season, which would be a new American League record if he continues this.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that he would cool off a little bit because, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because the one thing you forget is Cal is actually very young. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, look at, you know, his production the last few years. There has been nothing like this.
Sports. Always love jumping on KCal 96.7 FM with Patrick in the morning every Monday and Thursday morning, talking all sports, including Corona High School baseball, the Major League Baseball draft, and Patrick's a big Seattle Mariners fan. He loves Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh, who's the Dumper was the Derby champion, the home run Derby champion from the other night. So check us out, KCal 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning. I think I've been doing it like 12 or 13 years now on KCal, so it's been crazy. All right, let's talk right now real quickly about some CBU men's soccer. The soccer season is almost here. And CBU men's soccer won the Western Athletic Conference title in 2022 and 2023. We know this will be the Lancers' final year in the WAC before they make the jump to the Big West Conference. And CBU would love nothing more than, win the WAC one more time, punch their automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, and make another postseason run. Here is Lancers head coach Co Michelson. Inland Sports.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a good group of returners. We've got quite a few of these juniors who've been 3-year starters now, coming back for their junior year. And the fact that we get to host the WAC tournament in what will probably be the last year of WAC soccer, our objective here is to kind of be the WAC champion, not just now, but for forevermore, always be the WAC champion, because this looks like it'll probably be the last one.
And looking back at last season, it sounds like it was a valuable experience for a lot of your younger players to get significant minutes. How do you think the team will be better off this year based on, these young guys stepping up last year?
You have such a short period of time to work with your team in the fall. We get like 17 days and the games start. So a lot of times the teams that start well and really give themselves a chance for at-large, bids to the NCAA tournament by having these good non-conferences, they do that because they're able to work together all spring. So the fact that we had a good group together all spring that we were able to work with and develop, whereas the year before, having graduated like 14 seniors, we didn't have that. You look at the team last year, and we had a goalkeeper playing on the field the spring before that. Aiden Hay, one of our senior goalkeepers a year ago. So the fact that we've had a real team on the field this past spring, that really allowed us to kind of develop and build. And it all starts with those guys. We've added some great recruits to it, but the foundation is those returners. And we've got, I'd say, more depth and more quality in the returning group this year. And I think that puts us in a good place.
Inland Sports. All right, thank you, Coach Michelson. We just recorded a CBU Lancers Athletic podcast with Coach Michelson. You can look for that very, very soon, wherever you find your podcast. All right, also some big news for CBU men's basketball. The Lancers unveiling a couple of their big-time non-conference games against some Power 5 schools, Oregon State, Colorado, BYU, who might be and is one of the best teams in the entire nation, and Utah. Those are the first 4 games we know on the Lancers slate this upcoming season. They will unveil their complete schedule very, very soon, maybe in fact, the next couple of days before next week. But those are 4 big games, and they're all on the road. So some big-time road tests for Rick Croy and CBU men's basketball this upcoming season against some really good teams. All right, we'll talk a little CBU basketball, but we'll talk a lot of football with the big Jeezy, Jeff Gorham. And he's got a surprise from you as he spans the globe, bringing you local sports. Inland Sports. And now joining us here on the Inland Sports Show from Rome, Italy, the Trevi Fountain. It is a man of many cultures, the great Jeff Gorham, wearing some sort of a tie. And what's that on your head? Is that a hat or not a hat?
Hey, we'll explain to that in a minute here. I'll tell you why I'm here in Rome, Italy. It's my place away from home. When I leave the confines of the stately Gorham Manor, I often come here to Italy. And I heard that you were just recently behind me at the Trevi Fountain with your family.
I was at the Trevi Fountain. I was, in fact, where the vantage point that you're looking at is exactly where I was standing. I didn't get too close because, to be honest, I was sick that day. I was not feeling well. But I like a good trooper, I went out there with the rest of the family. I just stood off to the side, and I was like, okay, that looks cool. Go get your selfies.
Okay, here's the deal. Here's the real truth. And you guys can call BS on it. I am in Rome, and right there, do you see that? Wait, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, that little window is where the stately Gorham Manor is in Rome when we come here.
Your vacation home.
That is our vacation home. I have pictures to prove it from the bedroom. I am somewhat half nude because, I am a model here. That's why I came over to Rome.
Wait, but seriously, we have a mutual friend that has a home in Italy. Is it right there or no?
No, we don't talk about that. That is far into Tuscany. This is Rome. This is where I dabble in the arts. I told you.
I know you dabble.
I dabble in the arts, not like Harry Potter, but I am a fine artiste and painter. And every summer, most of the summers, I come out here to Italy. I go with our mutual friend who is yet to be named, a former a fan and friend of the show. So I rent this little nook right there. No joke. That nook I rent, but when I come to Rome. And so I paint. I wear the hat because, I'm a Renaissance man.
You sit in the little cafe with the little cups of coffee.
Oh, yes. But, I only like the cups of coffee, when you have it with ice cream. Do you know what that is called?
Oh, yeah. It's avocado?
Avocado, my friend. Avocado. You go and you have it. It's the best thing in the world. Pour some rich cup of coffee onto some gelato.
Those are my two favorite things: ice cream and coffee.
Oh, but and then I just paint away all day. I'm going to Florence a little bit later on in the week, and I will paint there. You know it's there, don't you?
Florence? I went to Florence. What's in Florence? I can't even remember.
The Boboli Gardens, Pep. I can paint my essence of trees and foliage. I go to Florence to paint there, and then I go to pay respects to what? The greatest statue?
The Leaning Tower.
No, that's in Pisa, you dummy.
Pompeii.
No! The great statue of David.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We didn't see David.
Then you missed out. Hold on. I need some of my Waterloo. I brought it over from the States. It's a great tonic water.
Oh, look at that. It's imported, isn't it?
Only the finest. Only the finest. Okay.
You know what's funny though is it wasn't Italy. It was actually Spain. There was like free water fountains, and in the water fountain you could get regular tap water or sparkling water. Like apparently everybody in Europe loves sparkling water, so you could just take your Stanley mug and go right up into this little kiosk thing, and you can get free sparkling water. There were guys like loading up bottles and bottles of sparkling water. It's free.
Okay, when you were in my hometown of Rome,
yes,
you have plain water. Did you have tap water or did you go bubbly?
I had a little of both, to be honest.
The bread here sucks, by the way. Absolutely sucks. There's no salt or butter really in their bread. But if you go to northern Italy, there by Pisa, as you said, or Venice,
yes,
Venice is great bread. Or there are other places, but we have to talk sports. I'm sorry, but you went on a worldwide tour. How was it?
It was good, Jeff. I went to Paris, Barcelona. We did a cruise. We did Italy. But I'll say after all of it, man, it is good to be back home, man. I miss the USA. I miss the Inland Empire. It was cool to see all those those tourist traps, right? The Eiffel Tower, Leaning Tower of Pisa, La Sagrada de Familia in Barcelona, and all. It was cool. The Vatican. We went to the Vatican. Like, it was cool. But it's good to be home.
Did you say hi to the Pope?
Yeah. Okay. Real quick story. So it was my nephew's birthday, and he wanted McDonald's, and there was a McDonald's located about a football field away from the Vatican. So me and my wife and kids got to McDonald's early to order and get seats for everyone. And the rest of our family was still making their way over, and they were passing the Vatican, and the Pope was making a public appearance. So they saw the Pope, and we didn't because I was eating a Big Mac at McDonald's. So
did you try the deep fried olives in at the McDonald's?
No.
What is wrong with you, my friend? You were a pompous tourist.
I'm American. Give me my Big Mac. Where's my French fries? Where's my Coke?
Okay, here's one other thing. I heard that you were bumped by the Vice President of the United States of America. Is that true?
That's also true. So like 6 months ago, I have a friend who organized a bunch of couples, a bunch of families to go to.
Me?
What's
Did
that?
you invite me?
He didn't invite you. I should have told him to invite you. He didn't invite you.
Whatever.
So this guy got 6 couples together, and my wife and I were one of them. And this was like 6 months ago, and we booked July 12th to go to 21 Royal at Disneyland, which is like a bucket list thing for my wife. It's very expensive. Like we'll do it once and that'll be it. And we found out a couple days ago we found out a couple weeks ago that we were bumped. Hey, they're like, listen, you can't have 21 Royal that night. We have a very special VIP. We'll bump you to a different day. We'll give you a big discount. You got to go to a different day though. So we're like, okay, but we're like, I wonder who it could have been. It's someone pretty important. Like, what celebrity would have been? And then we found out at the end of last week, literally just like a day or two before our scheduled day of July 12th, and it was, Vice President J.D. Vance and his family were using 21 Royal.
Wow, you better tell him, make Disneyland great again.
Make Disney great again.
He bumped you. You got bumped by the vice president.
I got bumped by the VP, man. I wish we would have shared it with them. We could have stayed in there. We could all broke bread together, but I guess that's not going to fly with Secret Service.
No, they didn't know how to even look at you. They're like, who's that guy?
Yeah, he's a little sus, as the kids would say.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you what, though. Pep, what's been going on? I know we haven't talked sports at all, but football is coming back. I know there's a big announcement that I think we're back on Riverside TV.
Yeah, well, let's jump right into that, because when you're not dabbling in the yards, you're dabbling with local football. Let's start with RCC, because we will have RCC back on Riverside TV, and I guess you'd call it the worst kept secret around. We all assumed that Kevin Kraft, the son of Tom Kraft, would be the head coach of RCC. It took months and months. I'm not sure exactly why it took so long, but he is officially the head coach of the Tigers. And Jeff, does that make sense to me? Does it make sense to you to have him take over for his dad?
Of course. Tom Kraft, he's an older gentleman, right? He's older. So Kevin Kraft last year was using his father as a animatronic figure. It was like, I'll be honest. Kevin Kraft has done and served his duties overseas, coaching, playing, learning under his father, playing at UCLA, San Diego State. I mean, all of these great situations, and it's, you can say, oh, it's nepotism. Nepotism, my butt. He's a great offensive coach, deserved, and why not give it to your son if you trust? He's won you 2 national championships, a couple state championships. Give trust. You still have coach right there on the sidelines as his coach. And what, quarterbacks coach?
Yeah. So Tom Kraft will stay on as the, what do they call it, associate head coach and quarterbacks coach. Kevin will still run the offense like he did last year. And last year for the Tigers, offensively, it was the best or one of the best seasons they ever had in terms of scoring points and touchdowns. So he obviously did a very good job. So that first game of the year, August 30th against Long Beach City, dude, that is right around the corner now.
And remember, Long Beach City has had to get rid of their coach. He resigned just within the last couple weeks. So now you have a brand new head coach at Long Beach City and a 6 p.m. game at Wheelock Stadium to start the season. Oh, my, it should be fun. But, hey, remember, this just took place like last week or a couple weeks ago. Everybody else has been recruiting for a long time.
Yeah.
How is RCC going to respond to this first year without a head coach, especially in limbo?
Yeah, we'll see. But Kevin Kraft seems to be like the right guy to take over. And it's cool that Tom Kraft will still be on the sidelines, with RCC. But I do, Jeff, before we go, I do want to talk some high school football as well. I had to go back and kind of refresh my memory about high school football last year, at least in the city of Riverside, in our Friday night pep rally show. We do all the highlights and scores. But in terms of playoffs, we're talking playoffs. I think King was the only Riverside team to win a playoff game, even get out of the first round. Like, we've had some really good Riverside schools the last couple of years, but last year King was the only one to even get out of the first round. Who's going to make a run this year?
Well, first of all, Keith Adams won it, baby. And he is
11-man football, I should say.
Yeah, but he's coming back.
I heard.
Keith Adams is coming back as the head football coach at CSDR and athletic director. There you go. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, who's going to, in terms of 11-man, we know CSDR is going to be good. They're always good.
McMains has himself a juggernaut this year. I talked to a lot of coaches. I was on the summer campus of Hillcrest, and I hung out with Travis Carter. They played some 7-on-7. I was doing my stuff. He thinks that King is going to be really good.
Oh.
He thinks that Ram High is going to be maybe even better. And, of course, you have Norte Vista, who's always going to be damn good.
You know, Ramona has had like a string of at least 3 quarterbacks in a row that have been like all CIF. Like they've been unbelievable. Yes. So I don't know this for sure as we do this on Wednesday night, but I think I'm going to go see Ram High play Redlands in 7-on-7 on Thursday night because I want to see what Coach Mush has up his sleeve.
Well, if I was there in the States, I'd say that was fun, but it's 7 but it's 7-on-7. I hope you have a great time in the heat, Pep. I'll be hanging out in Sardinia somewhere.
You'll be watching Juventus take on AC Milan or something in soccer.
No, I'm watching Friends in Italian. I'm not watching that crap. I'm learning Italian, bro. Ciao. I'm learning my stuff. I'm not watching any Juventus. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Jeff, a couple quick sports notes from my vacation real quick, because you and I really haven't talked since I got back. No. So just a couple random things. So we were in Paris when the French Open was going on, so it was crazy. And then we got to Barcelona, and dude, we could not find a taxi. It was nuts. And one of the taxi drivers was like, "Well, you're here on the same weekend as F1. Formula One has their big Barcelona race." And we're like, "Oh my gosh!" So we left Barcelona. So it was funny. We had these big, events with all these people coming into the city that normally would not be there.
Dude, you could have saw Ethan Hamilton.
Who's that? Bro. Wait, Lewis Hamilton?
Lewis Hamilton, Ethan Hamilton.
Max Verstappen?
Max Verstappen. Yeah. Yes, you could have been there. Have you seen the movie? Have you seen Brad Pitt?
No, I haven't seen that movie, F1.
Oh, okay, before we go, Brad Pitt was great in F1. The best. And if anybody says anything otherwise, they're stupid. Remember, I say that all the time. If you say I'm wrong, Superman is a top 10 movie of all time, and it's the best Superman movie ever made.
Jeff, everyone I've talked to besides you have said it's terrible. Don't waste my money.
Well, then, who are they? They're pretty stupid.
You name anybody.
They don't know.
Maybe it's different in Italy where you saw it. Maybe it's a different edit.
I call BS, and I'm going to say one more thing about this. Superman is meant to be good, positive, helpful, never kill, and always choose the right way to live. Correct?
Correct.
When you open a comic book as a young boy, you see the beautiful colors of the comics. Do you not?
Yeah, of course.
The blue skies. Have we not seen darkness for far too long with Batman and Superman? Everything dark and gloomy.
Yeah, dark. The Dark Knight. Batman's real dark.
Okay, you can't go outside and see Superman flying in beautiful blue sky, fighting kaijus with a dog. His dog Crypto is the greatest thing in the world.
Without going into spoilers, I've been told Superman gets his butt kicked all throughout the movie and needs help from all these different people. Is that true?
Well, if you know the story, Pep.
I don't know the story.
Do you know who kicks? Okay, do you know who kicks his butt?
I have no idea.
Okay, this is the deal. The guy who kicks his butt has. Should I spoil it?
Kryptonite.
No, you dummy! Watch the movie. Stop. Hey, Pat, you and I love movies. We go to all, and we have the same interests. It is a movie of goodness. There's no hatred. There's no wokeness. There's nothing. It is like opening a comic book and reading it and watching it with my friend Pep Fernandez.
I was actually excited to see it, and then I heard all these people bashing it, and I'm like, oh, man. I wanted to see it, but they're saying it's terrible that he gets his butt kicked.
Because they're stupid. They're stupid. Watch.
Superman doesn't get his butt kicked. He does the butt kicking.
Okay, now here's the deal. I'm going to look. Let me see. Hold on. Where's my phone? Hold on.
What do they call him in Italy? What do they call Superman in Italy, where you're at?
Superman. Okay, wait. Watch. Okay. Hold on. You have your phone. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
Got
there
my phone right here. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
That's the plot twist?
Yes.
Oh. Well, how does he have that?
Superman get his butt kicked? Okay, if you read the comic books, have you ever heard of Bizarro? You're a Seinfeld fan.
I've heard of Bizarro World from Seinfeld, yeah.
Okay, well, where do you think they got that from, Pep?
From Superman?
Oh, my God. Yes. Oh. Yes, Pep Fernandez.
I had no idea. I'm learning today.
Okay, when you see the movie, and then I want you to tell everybody they're stupid, even if you're
You're all stupid.
Blunt as I am, but they're stupid. If they don't like Superman, they're stupid. Hey, UCR has a new basketball coach. CBU has a reloaded weaponry. Their men's team is playing at BYU, and guess who transferred to BYU?
I don't know. Tell me.
I don't know. The guy who was their best player at the end of the year last year, Tylen Riley.
Oh, Tylen Riley's at BYU?
Is at BYU, so we're going to have BYU CBU.
I'm hearing BYU might be like ranked in the top 10 in the nation when CBU plays.
In the country next year. Tylen Riley versus Rick Croy and CBU. They're playing at Utah as well. Pep, I'm doing my job out here. I'm doing it.
Jeff, hold it down in Italy. Ciao, brother, as they would say. That's what you guys say in Italy is ciao.
Hey, remember, coach's perspective will be coming back because it's the only damn thing that wins anything over at Riverside TV.
It's the only thing.
The only thing, gosh darn it. But you and I, Pep, will be back together on Friday nights. And that other guy, you know, that Gizzle?
Oh, yeah, I know Giz.
Oh, he's over. You know where he is right now?
Northridge.
No, he's in Pakistan right now. That's why we flew over together. You know, as he wanted to visit his homeland. I visited my homeland.
You guys are around the world.
We're around the world. And so we're coming back together, and we're going to host 10 Riverside TV games of the week, plus 5 RCC games.
It's awesome. We're excited to bring football back to Riverside TV. Hopefully it's going to be a big year. That is Jeff Gorham. Jeff, always appreciate the time. Ciao, brother. Enjoy the pizza.
Ciao, bello. Hey, Babino. Good night.
Inland Sports. All right, that's a wrap. Closing things up with the Big GZ there. Last week's show was a little short. I was doing some football stuff behind the scenes to kind of get ready for the upcoming season, so we went a little long tonight. Big thanks to all of our guests. Oscar McBride, the head coach at Murrieta Mesa football, the Yucaipa Thunderbirds football team, Blake Wong from Norco High School. We had Co Michelson, CBU men's soccer coach, and the Big GZ as well. That'll do it for this show. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Give this video a like. Subscribe to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. You can also find us on Instagram and X. Still do Facebook a little bit, but definitely X and Instagram. You can find us there as well. I'm Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.